Hey everybody, it's Casual Boops coming at you with another video, and today I'm gonna cover the Advent calendar, day 2. I'm not trying to do these every day, just to give you guys an idea of what's in the Advent calendar, whether it's worth your time, your money, or in this case, I suppose your gold too. Yeah, and I'll just try to keep these short, just because I know this is only relevant for one day. So today we're gonna start on day 2. There was not a deal for day 1, so that's an easy pass. And day 2 is the TS5, which you can see here, the deal for gold is 9100 gold, and you get a crew that does not have Brothers in Arms. You get the garage slot, obviously, and then some 25 5x missions. These are handy. You're probably thinking, why do I need these for a premium tank? These are handy for training up crew. You stick your fresh crew in this tank, and then you run this thing a whole bunch, and then these combined with the accelerated crew training button will get you trained up pretty quick. So that's what that's for, I think. Or you can take the accelerated crew training off and then get a whole bunch of XP for converting into free XP once there's a sale. Hopefully, don't ever do that when there's not a sale. Otherwise, you could buy this with real money, of course, because Wargaming likes money. So why would that's the thing. And none of these deals are all that spectacular. These seem about run-of-the-mill. To be honest, you're looking at TanksGG, the cost of this thing in gold on any normal day is 8,800 gold. So for them to put it up as a special for 9,100, this doesn't really seem like this is something that, I mean, it's not for sale right now. So basically, I would say the tank is for sale. If you like it, I have a video on it that goes through the strengths and weaknesses. If you like pretty well armored tanks, and you're okay with some a slower tank with pretty good armor that doesn't have a turret, if this sounds like your kind of cup of tea, then this is probably as good a time as any to get it. This isn't really like, oh my god, you must buy this because the deal is so exceptional. Like, if you don't like it, you're still not going to like it no matter what they price it at. So there's that. If you have the gold, probably use the gold because the holiday boxes are coming around, and so you'll otherwise find a good use for that. Let me see. Okay, so I'm not going to go over the stats of the tank because that's too short, too long for this video. Anyways, so I'm kind of lukewarm on this. If you're like on the fence and I don't know if I'll buy this, then probably don't. Yeah, this tank is not brand new. It came out in a marathon, I think, last year. It will be up for sale again at some point. So if you're not sure, don't feel pressured to do this just because it's a one-day offer. Like, don't freak out. It's fine. Okay. Having said that, I don't know if you guys have seen the Daily Bounce leaked what is supposedly all of the things for this entire Advent calendar. We don't know the days. We don't know the styles, and this is not confirmed either. So we'll just have to see whether this is legit or not. But I can give you a really quick rundown just off the cuff. I will start by saying that, generally speaking, the old way of buying premium tanks is like, okay, for instance, the Lance and Sea. You might get that tank, maybe you hate the Lance and Sea and you hate the tank, but you like Swedish mediums, so this is a great way to train that crew. So that's kind of not the smart way to do this anymore, because the crew books exist. So it's really only worthwhile to buy a tank if you like that tank, because let's just say I don't have a Lance and Sea and I have a whole bunch of Swedish mediums, and I say, what am I going to do? Well, you just spend you buy the tank that you like, you grind credits in it because you enjoy playing it, and then you take those credits that you have, and you buy crew books for the line that you don't have a premium tank in. So with that being said, it's really only worth your time and money, I think, to buy tanks that you enjoy playing, and regardless of what the line is, or whether the line itself is good, or in some of these cases the line is awful but the tank is very good. So having said that, I'll just run through these really quick. The styles, this is going to depend on what they look like. I don't know. Generally these look pretty good, so I'll probably get them, but that's up to you whether you think that's worthwhile spending your gold. TS5 we just talked about, 1357. Yes, if you don't have one of these, yes, you need one. They're very fun. They're not the most competitive tank like in the game or anything. It's not like super broken, but it's very fun to play. It gets a lot more fun to play if you're willing to just spam gold, because then obviously, unfortunately, it becomes a lot more competitive. That's a it's a balancing problem, not necessarily what we're going to talk about here. But even if you don't just like, I run mine a lot of times with just all standard rounds because the thing doesn't get a whole lot of ammo. So to mix it up, to have like some of one and some of another can be really awkward because the thing doesn't carry much ammo. So late game you might have like half a clip of one and half of a clip of another. Anyways, the tank is good. If you don't have it, it's fun. It's not only is it just good, it's also very enjoyable. It's hilarious to play. So this is a hard yes. The STRV S1, if you like the cheese wedge tanks, this is an easy pick. I mean, the tank itself is good. I kind of find myself struggling or annoyed with these because it's very hard to be aggressive. It's very hard to roll up and shoot somebody. You have to kind of let them come to your gun and then shoot them just because of the way the STRV tanks are. Obviously the turbo with the equipment 2.0 is a big buff to these things, but generally speaking, I think this is a safe, like this is a good tank. Lance & C, excellent tank, buy. Round Panzer, don't even think about it, it's gross. Not in a good way, this is a bad tank. Skoda T27, I'm going to say no. I think, honest to God, this thing has a 3-round clip. It could probably, Wargaming in my opinion, could probably do nothing else except add an entire round to the clip of this tank and change nothing, and I think it would then be, it would go from mediocre to good. Like, it wouldn't even be broken. So I don't think this is worth your gold. Well, you know, I have it, I don't mind it, but it's certainly not good. The LT432, yes, buy this, it's very good. M41, no. Caernarvon Action X, I say yes. It's got a good solid turret. It's got good gun depression. It's got a good little pew pew gun. It's fine. You know, if you like hull down heavies, this is the tank for you. STRV 81. What is this? This is the unskinned version of the Primo Victoria, which is essentially a, what is that? A Centurion 1 carbon copy. Like, it's exactly the same tank from the tech tree except copied. I would say no, because there are better versions of this tank in the game, like this one. Anyway, so this, I would say no, personally. E75 TS, yeah, that's a great tank. You should buy that. It's really good. The Wheezy 111 Alpine Tiger, hard no, please no. And actually, that's the same with both of these. The Mutant M6A2E1. These are both pref matchmaking tanks that have absolute potatoes for guns, and the penetration is on standard round is awful. So you are pretty much saying, I'm okay with shooting premium and nothing but premium to be effective. It's very frustrating to play because even so, the guns aren't that good, and so I don't really care for these tanks. There are people out there that are going to say, I love those tanks and they're great, and that's fine. I hate these things, so I can't honestly in good conscience tell you to buy them. Your mileage may vary. If you like these things and you like, I don't know what there is to say about it except for terrible penetration, then maybe those are great for you. The VK, this is the rear-mounted side-scrapey thing that does 490 alpha. I tried this on my Sheriff account with like a 12-perk crew, and all the good, like, I wanted to see what the thing could be in its best case scenario, and it still struggles, in my opinion. The gun is really, really bad. It is kind of satisfying when the shots land and you do 490 and you roll for 550 or whatever at tier 8. Like, it can do things, but I found it to be very much like the armor does not hold up. The lower plate is cheese. It's got a big old cupola that somebody can cheese. You can even get shot in the turret face. So your job is to trade, but in the highly likely event that you miss your shot, you just ate a shot for free or 2 for free. I thought it was very situational and could be a meme occasionally, but you're gonna have a hard time carrying games in it. I would say no, personally, but this is down to personal preference. Object 703, this is a pretty good tank. I think this is a pretty solid, like, if you're on the fence, if you like the double barrel tanks, these are fine. I think the double barrel thing is kind of a meme more than anything else, but it's a fine tank. Rheinmetall Scorpion, yes, hard yes. This is probably one of the better premium tanks that they've ever released. That might be that's a hot take. Lerva, I like to call this one the Old Faithful. It's one of the older premium tanks in the game, and it got buffed a while back, so it's not quite as slow as it used to be. It's really good for beginners because it can do a little bit of everything. It's not so fast that it's going to run you into trouble, but it's not so slow that you can't necessarily keep up with the game anymore. It can side scrape, except for like a little. I'll just, I have it. I'll just show you. Okay, so you can see, if you look very carefully, how the edge of the side of the tank bumps out with the turret. So you can side scrape really well, but if someone knows this is here, this is a very hard target to hit. But this is generally something that I have been shot in before. It's a weak spot, you should be aware of it. It does have a cupola that's very small, but it does have 10 degrees of gun depression, and it can side scrape really well. It's got a massive lower plate, so you're going to know if you're doing it right or if you're doing it wrong, because if you get shot in the lower plate, you're doing it wrong. It's got a really, really nice gun. It's well behaved. It's got good standard penetration. So it's good for credit earning. Combined with the accuracy, you can put the shots pretty well where you want. So I think it's a good tank, but some people aren't going to like it because it's not that fast. And the DPM is kind of low, right? So it has upsides, it has downsides. I think it's very well balanced. If you're like new to the game and you don't know what you should be spending your money on with all of this stuff, if you're okay with heavy tanks, I say the Leva is probably a good first bet. And of course the 1357, because wow. Anyways, the Lorraine is excellent, and I think that's a hard buy as long as you are okay with paper tanks. It doesn't have any armor. It's got a really nice clip, and the gun's a little bit potato. It kind of feels like a spiritual successor or predecessor to the Batchat 25T. So kind of a derpy gun, but it has a pretty good clip. It does 1200 damage in a clip if you can land them all. I really like this tank. You know, obviously since the Barask has come out, this has kind of lost a little bit of its luster, but I think it's still excellent. The Wheezy, the Chinese tank destroyer, this tank is excellent. The line is hot trash, but the tank itself is great. Literally everything about this tank is excellent, except for the fact that it doesn't have a turret and the gun is derpy. So, like, I don't know, they just use those two things to balance the fact that everything else about this tank is stupid. Like, it's really good. So if you're okay with a derpy gun and you're okay with no turret, this is a really good tank. T103, this is just an awkward child. I haven't really found a good reason to buy this thing or play it, or like, I don't have it. It seems like every time I see it, I can cheese it, and I don't really have many problems with it. So I'm going to say probably pass on this one too. Centurion 5.1, this is a great tank. It's a quintessential, like, faster, not as fast as a Lanson, but it has respectable turret and an upper hull armor, so that I have a really good time with this thing. It's good. It's easy to play. It's fun. You pew pew. You stay hull down, and for the most part, you're safe. It's good. The Samua is a good tank when played correctly, but it's really easy to not play correctly. It's really good in frontline. It's got exactly the same gun as the Lorraine. The Lorraine has a 4-round clip and like a 39-second drum reload. The Samua has a 5-round clip, the exact same clip as the Lorraine, except an extra round for the same like 39-second reload. So it's like the Lorraine but better. And the hull is pretty well armored, but the turret is cheese, so it's a little bit awkward to play. Like, you can't go hull down because they'll just shoot you in the face. But you just eat things. You know, a 5-round clip, then each of them does. It's 1500 clip potential, so it's really good in frontline, because if you see a 1v1, you will eat that tank as long as you pen all your shots, and the standard penetration is great. It's a little bit on the slower side, but then again, if somebody's like capping in frontline, you can get in there and dump 5 rounds and probably either destroy whatever was on the cap, or at least get enough points to get you up in another rank or two. So I like it for frontline. I like it for pubs. It's not something where you can just drive in with your pants on your head, but it can be devastating. So it's a pretty good tank, I think. So that's the hot take. I'll still probably, I don't know if these are going to be legitimately the thing each day. So I'll pop in and confirm. I will also say this: there's another deal here where if you buy the tank and if you have the tank in your garage and then you buy it again, there's these missions that you're getting. If the advent calendar doesn't pop up, you click this little thing in the garage and it pops up again. Anyways, if you already have it, you will get the 5X missions. You will still get those. You'll get the garage slot and another crew for whatever reason, and then the missions, you'll get those. And I have to say, last year I did that. Every tank that I already owned, I was like, yes, I want the missions because crew XP. And you can see here, everything that's still got the little tag here, everything that you're seeing in the garage is what's still left over from that list from last year. So I didn't burn through these nearly as quickly as I thought I would. So I'm going to go ahead and advise that you don't do that unless you really like the tank and you know you're going to play it and you know it's going to be awesome. So just be wary of saying to yourself, I'm going to play this easily, 50 times in the next year, and then buy that for every one of them. So, that's just word of caution. Anyways, so that's probably longer than the rest of the videos are going to be, and longer than I intended to make this video, but hopefully it gives you a pretty good insight as to what's worth your time and your money, and the TS5 is good. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.